Hi, Mark. So here is the video for you of the movements that we went over today. I'm going to make sure my mic is all the way up, and I'm hoping that you're going to be able to hear me very well. I'm just taking a little look at my settings to make sure you can hear me. I normally use a mic for these videos, but I don't have it with me today. So I'll just try to be very loud so you can hear me. Okay, so we talked about in your seated positions, just a reminder that you want to make sure that you keep the angle of your knees open. So the feet don't tuck back, but they stay in front. The exercise we did today included flexing your foot. So your toes are up, you push your heel down, and then you pull so that your upper leg glides forward as your heel pulls back. So it's a little bit easier to do with shoes on. With my socks, I can slip a little bit. But you're digging your heels down, pulling them toward you, and trying to pull your knees away from your hips. That's going to activate the muscles on the back of your legs. That's a good thing. The other addition to that was that we added that you rotate your toes slightly in. So if you see my feet, hopefully you can see my feet. Your toes are rotated slightly inward while your heels are engaging into the floor and pulling in that direction. That's to keep the knees in traction. Okay, so that's one exercise. I'm going to give you another exercise while we're on the subject. These are going to be 3 movements. The first movement, you're going to place your hands between your knees or your upper legs, whatever you can reach without having to round over too far. Just here. Your feet are going to be pointed forwards, toes are slightly in. You're going to squeeze like your arms are pushing your legs apart, but your legs are resisting it. So activating the muscles on the inside of the legs. You're going to maintain that. Then take your hands to the outside as though your hands could push your legs together, but you're going to resist that. So now you have a little activated muscle on the inside, you have a little activated muscle on the outside. Then we're going to do that pull so that your knees want to go forward and your heels want to come back, keeping your toes ever so slightly inward. And then you can relax that because all those muscles are going to be active. We're going to squeeze in again. 1. We're going to press out 2. You're going to make your knees really long. 3. And then you're going to relax 4. We'll do that 4 times total. Squeeze 1. Press open 2. Reach your knees long 3. Relax 4. Last time. Squeeze 1. Press 2. Reach your knees way out long by pulling your heels towards you. 3. And then relax that 4. So that's just adding some more support to the position of your upper leg. I'm going to move a little closer for our shoulder exercises that we did today. So the shoulder motions, the arms starting what we call goalpost. In the perfect scenario, your arms are straight up and down. We want to we would like to not have the arms rotated like that. If possible, we're going to maintain that position. First motion, my shoulders go up toward my ears, just straight up. Then my shoulders go out toward the sides, like they could go in the direction of my elbows. And then I relax my shoulders back down. And then I'm going to repeat that. So I go shoulders up toward my ears. I go out toward my elbows. I let them come back down toward my hips and rest. And then I go up. Now on the next 2 motions, instead of just resting your arms here, you're going to leave your shoulders in place. Just let your elbows rise up a little bit. Just kind of, it's a little bit of a test. Can you keep your shoulders in this downward, outward scoop and lifting of the elbows? We do it again. We go shoulders up, out to the side. We drop them down. We scoop the elbows. One more time. Shoulders up and out. We drop them down. They scoop up. Next motion, we leave the shoulders in the scoop. So the shoulders are down the whole time and the energy is going outward toward the elbows. And then the elbows are going to draw a circle. So I'm going to go circling 8 times forward, up, back, and around. What it would look like differently is if I were moving my shoulders up and back and around, like a shoulder roll. We're not doing that one. Earlier in today's session, we did a shoulder roll as a warm-up just to loosen up the tissue. This is a little bit different. This is trying to open the chest, but keeping the shoulders in the scoop. Okay, so we'll do 8 of those. That gets pretty fatiguing, obviously. Okay, so that's the shoulder sequence. So now I'm going to stand and do the sideways position for your hip flexor. This is the exercise that we're doing to loosen up your hip flexor. I'm going to move my stool. When you're standing, your back foot, you would like that foot to be down. Your front knee is just a little bent. You're pushing down through your back foot so that your pelvis will begin to rotate and stretch this muscle here. So the stomach draws inward and upward while your back heel presses downward, and you want to try to keep your upper back perfectly straight as best you can. And then we do the other side. Front knee a little bent, back leg pushes down, we push through that heel. The pushing of the heel allows the stomach to draw in. Spine, the tissue is getting a stretch here. We draw the stomach up and in, the seat center, the back stays really straight. And you hold that for about 15 to 30 seconds. Now we're going to do the same idea. We're just going to add one little drop of your lower back, your tail. So I'm going to show you. Legs are in the same position. Back heel pushes down. As I push down, this time I'm going to try to get my lower back to go as flat as possible. Dropping this into a flat shape. I'm not going to get all the way to a tuck. That's a really big stretch. Just to a flat position if I can. My abdomen lifts up and in. My head stays back and getting a much deeper stretch now in this space. I release it onto the other side. Now, obviously, use anything that you need for support. But make sure that you're not having to lean over to get that support because that's going to change the stretch. So your banister or something that's up high enough that you can keep your spine out. So pressing down to the heel, lengthening out the tissue, trying to lengthen the lumbar spine, the lower back, keeping that back of the head long. Okay, so that is the sequence for stretching out your hip flexors. For the purpose of, again, creating a lot of space in the hip joint for the femur, the upper leg bone, for freedom there at the knee. Okay, so that's your review.